Yes, yes, yes. Y'all know what time it is. Season 1, episode 4. It's Thursday, so y'all know what that means, man. We gonna talk us some boxing. We gonna have us some fun tonight. We gonna have us good little conversation. We're gonna bring in my boy, my good friend, my man B. So we're gonna wait for B to come in here and holler at us with the good word. Dog, Joe, what's good, man? What's good? We're about to get things popping here in a little bit. Waiting for my boy to join in. And Joe, you know you're more than welcome to chime in too, bro. You can tap in. We're going to have us a good little conversation because I want to know what y'all know about this Kell Brook. You know, what y'all think about this Kell Brook fight that just went down. I want to know how y'all feel about that. And what's going to be next for what y'all want to see next for Kell Brook and what y'all want to see next for Amir Khan. So we're going to talk about that. Let's see. We're going to try one more time to get B in here. If not, we're just going to roll without B. And anybody want to chime in, man? Anybody want to chime in, just send a request, and we'll get you in here. Good to finally get the request. Let's see if we can get in line here. Yo.
What's up, man?
How you doing, my brother?
Just getting back from a date.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Good to finally have you up here, man. Good to have you chime in.
Yeah, usually when you get on, I'm usually not around, so.
I try to do Thursdays, you know what I mean, around 9 o'clock. Sometimes I'm able to make it work, sometimes not.
Okay.
But did you see the Kell Brook and Amir Khan fight?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I mean, Amir Khan got demolished.
Right. To be honest with you, bro,
It wasn't even remotely close.
I didn't see it happening like that. Like I didn't think the fight was gonna play out like that. I expected more of a competitive fight because I mean,
right.
We haven't seen Amir Khan go out like that. We've seen Amir Khan lose. Right. We've seen him get knocked out before with one punch KO kind of thing. But usually
he's got that glass chin.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, like the fights that he loses, he at least does well for a good little period of time, and then he'll get caught with a punch, and then he's knocked out. Like this fight, he got completely dominated from the beginning of the bell all the way to when the fight got stopped. That's why I'm surprised with the way the fight went, because I'm not used to seeing that from him.
I don't think anybody expected that. I thought a lot of people thought it was going to be a lot more of a competitive fight between Kell Brook and Amir Khan.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was entertaining. I didn't see it going down like that, but it was good.
You know what? It's like when I heard the two names, the guys that were going to be fighting against each other, I wasn't really excited. Right. I was thinking of two guys that were over the hill, and it's only going to be but so good. But it actually turned out pretty good, man. Like the crowd was into it. It gave you everything that you wanted, so I don't have any complaints on how it went down.
March 5th. I'm calling it right now, dude. Fight of the year. Chocolatito Martinez. Fight of the year.
Fight of the year?
100%. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. I'll give you that. Hold on. My boy Joe's going to chime in. We're going to have us a good little discussion, too. What do you think about Shakur, Stevenson, and Oscar Valdez? You don't think that's going to be in the
No, I do. But I've already talked to you about that. I got to go with my boy Valdez.
What's good, Joe? Joe,
hey, man, how y'all doing?
Despite public opinion, I got to go with Oscar Valdez. I think Oscar Valdez is going to pull it out.
You think so, man? I think Shakur does a good job of controlling the distance and not getting hit.
Yeah, he does.
And anytime you can do that, man, that takes you from good to special. Like that puts you on a different realm because you got good fighters, and then the great ones can master distance. So, considering Shakur is able to do that and he doesn't get hit, man, I don't see too many people giving Shakur problems, to be honest with you.
I don't want to see.
Nobody's giving him problems yet because, like I said, like you said, he's like a Mayweather. He slips, he ducks and dodges a lot of shit. So.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see
if he fights Valdez, Valdez will fuck him up.
Who? Oh, if they
Shakur.
actual brawl?
Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur.
Who you got? Who
I
you got in the fight, Joe?
I don't want to see Shakur fight nobody he want to fight. I'm gonna say that he want to fight
Somebody
him for
that
a reason.
because he
I
got
don't
bad
want to see.
intentions.
Yeah, he want to fight him because he sees something about Oscar Valdez specifically that he's gonna get into. Like he really about to. He sees something in Oscar Valdez, so that's probably not gonna be a good fight.
But you know what? You know what I do like though? It's the best fight in the best. You know what I'm
It is.
saying? Like,
It is at that.
I
What's
like
that?
that.
130.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I think so. At 130, yeah, that's the best you can. Um, I wish Shakur to be at 135. Honestly, I don't really think there's no challenge for him at 130. Oscar Valdez is good, but I ain't seen nothing special that I could say like he's on that level with Shakur Stevenson and all the young guys like Ryan Garcia, Tank. I can't say
don't put
that.
his name in there. Don't put his name in there. Don't put Ryan Garcia's
Who?
name in there.
We can
Ryan
Ryan
leave
Garcia.
his name
Garcia.
out of the conversation for
Nah,
tonight.
he's special. He's special. He's special.
Nah, he ain't earned that right, man. He's done some special things,
Nobody
and
earned the
then
right. Nobody earned no rights. Nobody done that yet.
exactly, you know
Nobody's
what I
earned.
mean. He
Nobody's
has it.
earned no right because nobody's fought each other. None of the young guys fought each other.
Correct,
So
correct. You're
nobody's earned
absolutely
no
right.
rights. So you can't really say who is and who ain't. I'm gonna just say I don't think that Oscar Valdez is as talented as Ryan. It's clear. You can look at Ryan and see he passed the eye test. Has he been in a good fight?
He's got fast hands. He's got
That's a
fast hands.
talent. That's something
Yeah,
to deal with.
but
So
Oscar Valdez,
power.
it's gonna be interesting, man. Because I'm not gonna put nothing past Valdez, man. Valdez is special. Like Burchell is a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? And he made Burchell
Yeah.
look elementary, and he put on the knockout of the year. I think was a knockout of the year when
Yeah.
he knocked out Burchell. So Valdez has got something in him now. Whether he's able to do that against Shakur, that's a different conversation. But he's got some things in him that is gonna be real interesting in that fight. I'm telling you.
I still think Chocolatito and Martinez is gonna be the fight of the year. Because they're gonna go in there and fight. They're not
Mhm.
gonna nobody's ducking and dodging, nobody's slipping punches. They're fighting that whole fight.
And
They're
anytime they
throwing
fight
100
that
pounds.
many times, anytime you got a trilogy where they fight that many times, it's always go time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Yep, yep.
Well, this weekend, who do we got? We got who
Next
Josh
conversation. Yep,
Taylor.
yep. Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. Catterall's 26-0. I want to say Josh
What is
Taylor
that?
is
I don't
140?
know who that dude is. I know Josh Taylor.
yeah.
I don't know Catterall.
Is that
Catterall.
140?
Yeah. It's at 140. Catterall, he's beaten a couple guys in the UK. He beat O'Hara Davies, Tyler McKinney, Kid McKinney. So he's beaten a couple guys, but obviously this is going to be the biggest fight of his life, his biggest fight. So it's in Scotland. It's in Josh Taylor's
Josh
backyard. So
Josh Taylor 18-0.
I want to say he's 18-0, but he's fought all top-notch opponents.
And
That's what we got to get.
He's
he
filthy.
undisputed. And he
He's filthy.
undisputed.
And he's
Undisputed.
undisputed. Yep. He
I'm
undisputed
gonna
at
say this.
140.
I'm gonna say like I said last week that he don't got enough fights on his resume to say like he's undisputed. He just got the right fight because he was in the right position. But as a test, he only got 18.
I
So we
will
don't
say
know.
this:
We
the
don't
18
know. We
fights
don't
that
know.
he has, it's like the combined record of his opponents is like something crazy. It's like 200, 300, something to like one or two
Styles
losses.
make fights. Styles make fights.
Really?
I
Yeah.
see.
Like if you look at Josh Taylor's last opponents and like add up the records,
Nothing but top.
it's like
Nothing but
some.
top. Nothing
Right.
but top.
You know what I mean? You
But
gotta give him his credit. But let me ask y'all
the
this
way he
then, because
he's fighting,
Teofimo's. What you say, Joe?
the way Josh Taylor fights.
Yeah.
When he won that undisputed fight for the undisputed,
Mm-hmm.
I thought he started off losing, but his will and like the way he's relentless all 12 rounds, I think that's been breaking the guys he's been fighting. But I want to see him in there with somebody not with that much skill, just with as much will as he has. Because those guys that he was in there with, they was tough, they was good competition. But will is a good quality to have, and I think Josh Taylor, being from Australia, they come naturally with an extra set of will. Like he got a little bit more than the people he's been fighting. So I want to see him in there with somebody as tough as he is.
Yeah.
but I haven't seen him in there with nobody in there like that. I could. He need to go up to 147. Actually, he got all 4 belts.
I was actually going to ask you that question. Like, let's just say Josh Taylor wins this fight, right? Do you think that he should stay at 140 because Teofimo Lopez Sr. has been running his mouth saying that his son is going to put hands on Josh Taylor, how he's going to do all these things? Or do you go to 147 where you got Bud Crawford, you got Errol Spence, you got Ugas, you got all those guys? And what you think first, man? Do you think that he should stay where he's at and fight Teofimo at 140, or do you think he should go to 147 and fight the death row of talent that's at 147? How you feel?
Who you said, me or him?
No, him. I'm calling him NY because
Me?
that's his name. Yeah. I'm calling you NY because
Oh,
that's
okay.
the first part of your name. Forgive me.
Teofimo needs to. He looked like a fool in his last fight. He needs to step it up.
Yep.
I mean, he really looked like a bitch in his last fight. And I'm a Teofimo fan. I respect him. I like him, but I'll give him a little bit of slack. I feel like he underestimated
George.
George Kambosos. Kambosos ain't no joke, by the
I'm
way.
gonna tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
Cambosis is from Australia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Taylor from Australia. They fight similar, and he's just like the
Josh
bigger
Taylor
version.
from Scotland.
He from
He's
Scotland.
from
Yeah.
Scotland. He's
I
from
thought he was
Scotland.
Australia. Okay.
But
Nah,
them dudes from
Their
across the
accents
pond,
sound
though.
similar.
he too long.
Them,
He too
them
long.
fighters
He's too
across the
long for
pond.
TFP. He's too long for Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez had a problem with George Kambosos at 135. At 135, right? He could say what he
Mm-hmm.
wants. He got dropped. He didn't get
Mm-hmm.
outworked. He didn't get styled on. He got beat up by
Yep.
a smaller guy. And
Mm-hmm.
Josh Taylor he don't box. He come out there to beat you up. Like so.
Exactly. Yep. Josh Taylor got that
I'm
bully
only
in him.
going with that same recipe. A 135 guy beat your ass, and he had you looking dumb. So a 140 guy should just like destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
maybe he got humbled in his last loss and learned something there because he really got schooled. He really got schooled.
But you know what? Sometimes you need that moment to happen. That L that he took against Kambosos, you need that to happen because sometimes people get on their high horse. They feel like they're untouchable.
Because
He just beat.
Lomachenko was his goal. Lomachenko
Right.
at the
He just
beginning of his
beat.
career was his end goal. He beat
He beat
Lomachenko early in his
Lomachenko.
career, and then it was
Yeah.
who was the guy that beat Roy Jones but couldn't beat nobody else? Tarver?
Tarver. He beat Roy Jones. He beat a couple other people too, but his signature
But
was Roy.
every time he fight Roy Jones, he can beat Roy Jones, but he can't really against top competition, like because he get himself ready for one guy.
You know
I
who
think.
that reminds you of too? You know who's a perfect example of that? Vernon Forrest and Shane Mosley.
Uh-huh.
I know y'all gotta think back at HBO boxing days. I'm taking y'all back now with Larry Merchant and all them dudes, Jim Lampley
But
and all them called the
Vernon
fights.
Forrest had
Right.
Shane Mosley number since the amateur days. He always
Mm-hmm.
beat him. Just like
And remember the knockdown where Shane Mosley's head got rocked back on the ropes. He hit him with like an uppercut and then hit him with something else, and Shane Mosley's head kind of rocked back. And I think that was the first time that he got knocked down at the pro level. Was that
Have you
fight?
seen his son fight yet?
What's that?
You seen his son fight yet?
Yeah, I'm not impressed though, man. I'm not gonna give him credit just because he's Shane Mosley's son. Like you got to put in your own. I'm not impressed. Like he has problems beating people that he should blow out if you want to talk about being a top level fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like
You know his son's decent is what's his name? Hatton. Ricky Hatton's son, whatever his name is. Corey Hatton.
Campbell was it? I think it's
Campbell Hatton.
Campbell Hatton.
Yep.
Yep. You know
He ain't bad.
what's the face is good too. I want to say he's like 147, but nah, the what's the face is good too. The Ben kid, Nigel Ben, and no Connor Ben, and Eubanks son, Chris Eubank, the one that just fought not too long ago.
Yeah, Chris Eubanks Jr.
Eubank Jr. He's tough too.
Oh, he got
He's
Roy
starting
Jones
to get in the.
training
What's that?
Roy Jones is training him, right?
Yes. And you can see where Roy has been working with him too, because like if you look
That's
at
weird
Chris,
though.
Yeah, it is. But the crazy thing is, like, if you look at some of Chris's fights early in his career and look at him now, you can see the difference. You can see some of Roy's style in Eubank. Like, he was a straightforward brawl type, then that was it. Now, he's added a little bit more angles, footwork, and, like, a lot of what Roy did when he was fighting, you know. And that's cool to see because, like, you see how special somebody can be with a little bit of coaching. Because they said he didn't have coaching for a while. It was just him training himself, and occasionally his pops would chime in. But you see, like, with top-level coaching, what he really can do. And I think Eubank Jr. is going to be all right, man. I think that's what
Who just fought the other night? Who was the big fight the other night?
was it not the Kell Brooklyn? Or are you talking about Thurman? You're not talking about the Thurman fight the other night.
No, it was right after Kell Brook fight around 8 o'clock that night. You and I were texting about it.
Munguia.
Oh, that's my boy.
Jaime Munguia. Yeah, Jaime Munguia.
That's a bad man.
He completely eviscerated old boy, man. And he took his head off. You know what?
Yeah.
That's
Munguia lost the first round.
He did. Jaime Munguia.
He won the second round, then he knocked him out in the third.
Who would you like to see Jaime Munguia in the ring with next? Because it's at a point where now I'm tired of seeing him fighting C-level fighters. No offense to them, but he's clearly not a C-level fighter. So I want to see him in the ring with C-level competition. If you're an A-level fighter, you're a B-level fighter, I want to see you in the ring with the same level competition. So when we talk about Jaime Munguia, it's a situation where he's up here and he's
Charlo, Andre.
He's down. Right. Charlo or Andrew.
Triple J.
It needs to be one of those two at this point.
Well, he had mentioned Triple G after his last fight, not this last fight, but the one before it. He wanted to fight Golovkin.
So what do you do with Triple G? Because they're talking about if Canelo signs this deal with the Zone, he could be fighting Canelo again.
Triple G again. I brought that up last week.
For a fight
fan,
I heard if you're like I'm a Canelo guy. Like for a fight fan, you have to have that trip. Like Canelo won the second fight. He got his ass destroyed in the first fight. Like they have to do the trilogy. You have to do the trilogy. For a fight fan, that's where the money's at.
I mean, Joe, how you feel about the trilogy? You want to see a trilogy between?
I brought it up last week to you. I brought it up to you last week. I want to see a fight that a guy has possibility in losing. Right now in boxing, nobody that you put in the ring with Canelo is honestly coming out there to win, but Triple G. Y'all can say what y'all want.
You're right. No, you're right.
Manny Pacquiao fought the same guy that we thought he shouldn't have cat fighting. But it's something about the guy that don't feel they lost to you that keeps getting a rematch.
Yeah.
Like he felt like the first time he felt like he boxed you up and he said that you didn't fight like a Mexican. So the second fight, you came in and you fought like a Mexican, they said you won. But the first fight, y'all got a tie. He felt like he boxed you up and won. Then he felt like he boxed you. He tricked you in a boxing and you fought like a Mexican and got a bullshit decision. That's how he feels. Triple G actually feels in his mind that he never lost to see the best fight. I don't think it'll sell, but I'm saying as a fan sitting down watching, he gonna knock Charlo out. He gonna knock Boo Boo out. He go up and fight. He gonna be too fast. Somebody come up and fight him. They're gonna get knocked out. It's really no fights because like we just gonna pick a new guy after he beat up the guy that we say.
Right.
We gonna pick somebody else. Oh, you can't beat him now. After he beat up Charlo, we gonna find somebody else. Right? Now what we know is he had some disputable fights with Triple G. Triple G fans don't feel Triple G lost any of them.
Right.
So
and that first fight especially is a legitimate argument. For that first one you can say Triple G won, but I truly believe that second fight Canelo
got to get a knockout. Canelo got to get a knockout.
Yeah, but my only thing about the fight now, the only issue I have about with it happening now is that Triple G is almost 40 years old.
Yeah, I say
you know what I'm saying? And like,
he's slow.
He hasn't done anything since the last fight that he had with Canelo. He's fought 3 people that are below his ability. He hasn't fought
So
consistent
has
competition.
Canelo.
But not Canelo is fighting champions.
No, they're
Canelo
champions, but they if you Ricky Fielding, how did he get his belt? Why did he go fight?
He had one. I understand. I understand.
Yeah, you just saying
he had one.
champion is cool, but man, that shit don't mean shit in boxing, man. That shit don't mean nothing. Like it's these kids running around here right now, 8-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids, they state champs, they region champs. Right now.
I agree that there's too many belts. There's too many belts in boxing. But my thing is, if you're gonna test yourself, I'd rather see you fight other champions than bums that are like 10-8 or 10-9 or 10-10 or something like that.
But as of late, since Canelo signed his deal, he's been fighting bums.
He fought Billy Joe, and what he was undefeated. He's tough. And if you compare Triple G ain't fought nobody like Billy Joe Saunders in his entire career, for real.
If you look at the numbers from the Billy Joe Saunders fight, I score every fight that I watch. They fought what, 7 rounds? I had Saunders winning like 4.
He was
Billy
doing
doing good, but Canelo
Saunders was beating Canelo until Canelo caught him with that right uppercut. But if you watch any Canelo fight, Canelo loses the first 4 to 5 rounds of every fight he fights. That's Canelo.
That's Canelo.
The Kovalev fight was no different. When he fought Kovalev at 175, he lost a good part of that, and then like 11th, 12th round, he ended up knocking Kovalev out.
Canelo
you know
last fight. Canelo last fight against Canelo last fight against I forget his name. Get out.
Caleb Plant. His last fight was against Caleb Plant, right?
Yeah, his last fight. He didn't throw a punch the whole first round. Fight. He didn't throw a punch the first round. Canelo. Right. He just walked him down on straight defense. Canelo is not even Billy Joe Saunders. He's going out there to knock him out, so it's not even like he's just gonna get you. Like
it was a bad matchup for Billy Joe because my thing is like
when Canelo going out there against Triple G, he's not going for the knockout. He's going to box because it's a possibility to get hurt and knocked out. See, when you fight in Caleb Sweet Hand Plants, he can't punch, so it's never no danger.
Right.
That's his name, right? Sweet Hand. Yeah, that's not even no slight to him. That's his name.
Yep. But you're right, though. You're right. You're not worried about that punching power.
You can go out there and really lose the first 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Who's that big Russian dude?
Kovalev?
Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight? Better Biev?
I think I'm telling you right now, I put my money on B2B beating Canelo. I really do.
And that would be a legitimate bet too, because if you were to ask me one name that I think that could, if they say, look, pick anybody within this range of weight that is a realistic fight for Canelo that he could lose, Better Biev would be my pick.
Wow.
And it's unfair because B2B he's so much bigger than Canelo naturally.
Heavy-handed. He's heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you're going to beat Canelo, if you're going to find some kind of recipe to beat Canelo, because obviously you're not going to find the Floyd Mayweather. You're not going to find somebody quick enough to box him and everything. You have to get Canelo's respect, or else he's going to walk you down and knock you out late. So you have to have somebody that's got the power.
So what you think about Lara? What you think about Lara's recipe to beat Canelo?
Arislani Lara's the recipe?
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
He not Floyd.
No, but he fought Canelo early in his career. He fought him after the Floyd fight?
I'm telling you right now, and I tell this to everybody though, and this is swear to God. Canelo ain't pick up nothing but some new moves. He ain't pick up no IQ after the Floyd fight. The same shit still beats him. Not Billy Joe Saunders. Caleb Plant just showed that the same shit beats Canelo. That same Floyd shit beats him.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't y'all just see it in his last fight? The shoulder roll was giving him problems.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Plant didn't have his hand in the right position. He got caught. Floyd wouldn't have made that mistake.
But the thing is, Caleb Plant, he doesn't have any kind of power.
Floyd has more power than Caleb Plant at 147 because Floyd had Canelo's respect from just walking in.
Well, yeah, and also Floyd's IQ. I mean, if you talk about the reason why Floyd was able to outbox him too, Floyd's IQ was far beyond Canelo's at that time too. So any kind of little mistake Canelo was able to make, Floyd was able to make him pay. You know what I'm saying? Floyd was damn near 40 years old, close to 40 years old. So
I don't think power is the way to beat Canelo. I think you got to box him straight up like Larry or Floyd.
You got.
Those
I
bigger
think you got to make
guys,
him respect.
those bigger guys, that shit knocking him out, man. I don't think so, man. You're gonna have to box him. You're gonna have to be able to move your feet for 12 rounds. No laying on the ropes. That's that.
I don't think, but
no guy over. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't believe no guy over 154 can beat him. That's why that is an illusion that everybody's falling like it's gonna take. Those guys like to lay on the ropes. Those guys are big targets to get hit on their hips. They're gonna get slowed down. They are not elusive with their whole body. If you are not elusive with your whole body, Canelo's gonna punch you on your shoulder, hit you in the hip, and by the fifth and sixth round, you slow down, and he's gonna be hitting you in the head now. Floyd and Clara did not take no punishment to the body. They was getting all the way out the way. They wasn't catching punches with blocks. They was getting all the way out the way. If you're not gonna be all the way elusive, and no guy over 154 can do that for 12 rounds, you're gonna lose.
Right.
These guys,
but
that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's an illusion.
You have to.
It's an illusion like Canelo can lose right now, but he really can't, bro.
But the thing is, you have to do something to make Canelo respect you. You have to do something to make Canelo respect you. If Canelo doesn't respect you, he's just going to come forward the entire fight. Whether it's your fight IQ or whether it's your power, you have to have something. So I don't see, like you just said, I don't see anybody above 154 with the ability to consistently move and do that for 12 rounds. So you have to start bringing in power and have to have something to make him respect you. Because if you have somebody like Canelo coming straight at you for 12 rounds, it's just a matter of time for at this point of where he's at. Because he's a better fighter now than where he was when he fought Lara and then when he fought Mayweather. He's better. You can tell the difference. He's learned something. Whether he learned something,
he learned that from everybody he fought, though. That just wasn't that's just come from experience. That one fight with Floyd, I just don't see it. Like, he still fall for the same shit. It's just nobody can do the same shit. It's easy. Do what Larry did. Larry got robbed. Do what Floyd did. If y'all go out there and try to beat him up, lay on the ropes, it's not happening, bro. And then for real, you're really not going to beat him on the scorecards these days either. So you better go out there and try to knock him out. Because you're not going to beat him on the scorecards either.
Nah, he's the cash cow. He's the cash cow.
So you're not going to beat him. You got to knock the champ out or knock him down. You know that. So he's like the fucking, that nigga's an illusion, man. You can't, I don't think you can beat Canelo right now, man. It's like he's carnival games.
He's top pound for pound fighter. I think we all can agree that he's top pound for pound right now. And the argument now is who is 2 and 3 at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna ask y'all, please. Who would you have? Because I got Bud Crawford at number 2, and number 3, I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I got a couple names that I'm thinking at number 3. Y'all might have to help me out with that.
Number 3.
I need guys like Bud Crawford and Munguia and who's the guy fighting in March 19th? The Spanish guy from Texas.
Let's fight in
Not
March
Lopez. Yeah, he's got a big fight going up there, right?
We can find out.
Spanish dude from Texas.
Let me see. I'm about to find out right now.
Regardless, like I need to see those guys step it up and fight some bigger names, just like we were saying earlier with Munguia.
Well, March 9th. Oh, you talking about Virgil Ortiz?
Virgil Ortiz Jr. Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's solid.
He's on his way there. My only issue
he's got no major fights under him.
That's my only issue with him. That's my only, because if we're talking about best pound for pound, how do you go against other elite talent? He hasn't had that yet. That's not his fault. I'm not blaming him for that. It's just that I just want to know, what do you do against other elite talent? Are you winning, or are you know what I'm saying?
I got
So I'm
I
trying.
got I got Canelo.
Mhm.
I got Earl's. I got Terence Crawford at 2, and I got Earl Spence at 3. Um,
That's kind of where I'm at.
um, Canelo done the most.
Who's Spence fighting next?
To what?
Ugas.
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 Yep.
I think
Which
Ugas
is,
gonna win that, but
y'all going right into the next topic, man. This Jay rolling perfectly because Spence
I
Ugas was the
got I
next fight.
got I got Ugas winning that, but like I said, Earl,
Really?
yeah,
That's why we gonna talk about it. That's why we gonna talk
Damn.
about it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I didn't see that coming, but all right.
I got Earl as number 3 right now, and for real, after this fight, I think I'm gonna have him down at like number 10. He's gonna lose for sure. And I think he's gonna be like down to 10. Yep. I really feel
That's
like
bold, right? That's
um
bold. That's bold.
I
But
think
if it happens, you called it, and I'll shout you out from the page. I'll
let me
shout
let,
you out and let people know that you called it.
let me I'm gonna break this down.
Oh, you going in and out.
Hello?
You good now? Yeah, you were going in and out. I got you now.
He
Break it
started
down,
at,
man. I gotta hear this.
Earl started at 154. His first 8 fights is at one. His first 6 to 8 fights is at 154. Um, when he was knocking out Adrian Broner, when he was giving Floyd a black eye, he was at 154. He came down after like his 7th, 8th, 9th fights and shit like that to 147. And this is at 20 years old. Now he's been at 147 till he's what, 32, 33, what he is now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been off for 2 years. He had this car accident, then he had this eye injury, and now he got to make that same weight again. I mean, if he was making that weight consistently, cool. But now this is going from not making this weight, unless he's been staying in the gym. I doubt it, because that eye injury really messed up the rhythm of things. And then Ugas winning the belt really destroyed his like goal of the 3 belt thing. Like it really slowed it down because I don't think he's planning on fighting Ugas. He's planning on fighting Pacquiao for money and a belt. So Ugas was a dangerous guy because Ugas also beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs. Ugas is from a Cuban school, and when he was on his Olympic team, Ugas was not on a team with nothing but southpaws. He was one of the only it was only one other right-handed person on that team with him, and he was one of them. So he went up against nothing but world-class southpaws. And I think the way he beat Pacquiao, I don't think Earl would have did it like that. I think he really retired him, and I think he really smashed Pacquiao. And I think he made Pacquiao retire. I think Pacquiao would have kept fighting had he lost a more in a different fashion. And I feel like the layoff, and I didn't see Danny Garcia put any physical pressure on Earl's injuries. You know, like after a football player comes back after ankle injury that cuts, even if it's 100% the ankle, the cuts ain't as sharp because mentally they still injured, you know? So I
Right.
didn't really get to see Earl take a shot to the head and wince because I ain't really see Danny. He's a hooker, so he didn't really land no hooks and he didn't really land no
Right.
shots.
And Danny's more of a counter puncher too, so like
Yeah,
he
he's slow
wasn't
too.
pressing the action.
We
Yeah.
got Ugas that's going to be throwing straight punches down the pipe, and they said that you had got flung from your car and you didn't receive no head injury, but in sparring with headgear, you got a broken orbital eye bone. When you got sparring with somebody to simulate Pacquiao, straight punches coming forward. Pacquiao throws a 1 and a 2. He don't really be mixing up no threes and straight punches coming forward. So when you got sparring to simulate Pacquiao with headgear on, yo, bro, they got headgear for $600. It got like structure inside of it. For real. Pros use $600 headgear. It got structure. You got your orbital eyebrow. That's not even easy, bro. Like we seen how Canelo broke Billy Joe Saunders. That's how you get your orbital eye broke. You duck into a hard punch, like. But we saying that you got in a car. I don't think he's gonna last. Seeing how Pacquiao got beat up.
Makes I mean
with straight punches.
That injury it does play a role in this because Ugas has a tough jab and
a tough two.
Yeah. So like if he's consistently throwing that jab at that eye, who knows what's gonna happen in Ugas. He will be somebody that will press the action. Like there ain't no sitting back waiting. Ugas is gonna throw that jab. If he's not like coming for it, he's at least gonna throw something. So that's what makes this fight interesting, man. Yeah, anything can happen, bro. If I was a betting man, I would take Spence because I'm going by what I've seen. But I could very easily see a situation where you guys could win this fight.
And another thing, when you really sit down and watch all Ugas fights, all 4 of his losses, you could say he got robbed. So in his mind, he probably an undefeated fighter. So it's really like he gonna be out there in his mind undefeated, and that 0 in your mental record means a lot.
How you feel? You said you got Spence in the fight. Why do you think Spence is gonna win the fight?
I think he's just got more talent overall, more so than Ugas. Well, like he said, I mean, he hasn't fought what? It's been about a year and a half, 2 years since his last fight. So that's gonna play a big role in his next fight. So just like it's gonna be in
okay.
What's his name when Garcia fights next? Garcia hasn't fought in what, a year and a half?
Danny Garcia. Yep.
Can I ask both?
No, Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia. Yep.
Can I ask both of y'all a question?
Yep.
Who's tougher in last fights? Danny Garcia or Manny Pacquiao? Because that's
what do you mean their last fights?
Earl's last opponent was Danny Garcia, and Ugas' last opponent is Pacquiao. Who wins out of
Yo
Danny Garcia and Manny Pacquiao?
What's good, man? You said Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao. I'm gonna let y'all answer that question first, and then I'll come in with the cleanup.
Manny.
Danny? You say Danny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I agree with him. Danny Garcia.
I think Pacquiao because he throws straight punches.
Well, then, other than Danny or Manny?
Yeah.
I think Manny would be a little bit too active for him. You know what I mean?
I would go with Manny. So
Manny, he comes straight forward and just throws punches. I think them times where Danny would take a little break, Manny would still be working. You know what I'm saying? I think that would make the difference in the fight, to be honest.
Neither of them look good in their last fights. Neither of them. I mean,
they both look.
So I mean, it's a talk about.
That is a
They're
fact.
both over the hill at that point.
Now, did Danny fight since Earl?
I don't know. We won't know until he gets in the ring. We don't know what Earl we're going to see. The thing that intrigues me is that he's getting right back. And the thing that, as a fan, because we give him the fan perspective, you got to respect the fact that Earl is getting right back in the ring with no kind of tune-up fights, no, let me fight this dude. Like he's hopping right in there, and it's like, okay, who got a belt? Yeah, we would like to see him fight Terence.
I believe Ugas would really fight Terence Crawford. I believe you know that.
That'd be a good fight.
Pressure to it definitely would, because Ugas beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs. That's always gonna sell. It's always gonna sell.
And y'all know who the number one contender could be possibly for the Spence Ugas winner, right?
Boots.
Ooh.
He's a problem. He's fighting somebody we don't know right now. So
that's true. That's true.
Why
Boots,
are they doing that?
Boots is that shiny new toy. You know, it's that shiny new toy that everybody is excited about. But I think
So his fight
some
is
people take
before
it
the
too far.
Ugas and Earl fight, and he's supposed to go out there and get a spectacular knockout, and we supposed to watch him fight Earl Spence before Terence Crawford. That's what's going on.
No, that can't happen.
Yeah,
It can't.
that's what's
It can't.
going on,
But the
man.
thing is, people excited about the shiny new toy because they see him in a stacked division too. They
He's not
see
even all
him.
that.
He's
He's
doing
not
this
even
thing, and
that
they're like,
cool.
"Yo, he's in a division where you got all these killers. What could possibly happen if you put this young lion in there with one of these killers?" That's the unknown factor. That's what people want to see.
Stop trying to
You know
slow
what
up
I'm
this
saying?
game from the fight we want to see, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Don't
do
get me
that.
wrong. Spence
We
That's
don't need
Crawford is the
another.
one that
they
we want to
setting it
see.
up for that.
But I
Yeah, we don't
guarantee
need a
you.
Mayweather Pacquiao. We don't need a Mayweather
Boots
Pacquiao. We
gonna
need
come
to
out there
fight
and get
right
a
now.
spectacular knockout over this guy that we never seen before, and then they're
But I
gonna be
guarantee
talking.
you, let's just say they don't sign Crawford and Spence, right? But let's just say Twitter hits and they say Crawford versus Ennis just got signed. There'll be a little element of excitement in there if you
Yeah.
were to see that fight hit Twitter. There'd be a little bit of a oh shit. All right, I can deal with that. I ain't got Spence Crawford, but I'll take that. I can I'm excited with that. There'll
See,
be a
but
little.
the thing is, I think Boots is gonna exercise as mandatory if he win this fight. So we have to see that fight, or Earl is gonna have to relinquish his belt.
Mm-hmm.
Earl is
Yeah.
not about to drop that belt. He's gonna have to fight that man. He's gonna fight that man, and it's gonna give even more time to the fight that the fans really want to see. I understand who Boots is and all of that. Nice. He's cool. He get nice knockouts. He got talent, but he's not in this generation, bro. He's not in his class. He in Virgil Ortiz class with them motherfuckers. Josh Taylor, he can slow up a little bit. We got
Yeah.
fights we've been waiting on for 5-6 years now.
Yeah, it was like that.
We don't
We
need
were
to
working
add no
on.
name. We don't need to add no names to the drawing board, man. Come
Yeah.
on now.
It was like that with Wilder and Joshua. For a while, we wanted to see that, and then Fury gets into the equation, and then Andy Ruiz knocks out Joshua.
And now we don't see the fight that we want.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. Let me ask y'all this. All right, I want to know like, what's y'all growing up? Right, we all have like boxing memories that we have like watching a certain fight or a certain fight with a relative, cousin, brother, uncle, whoever. What is the fight that y'all watched younger that sticks out in y'all head the most? And you like, yo, I remember where I was. I remember who I was with.
Oh yeah,
I
it
remember
was
this fight
Barrera and
just happened yesterday, dog.
what was
What's
that?
the fight that sticks out in y'all head? Each one of y'all
Prince
got
What were
Nassim
you?
Hamed.
I know there's one that
Hey,
sticks out
Yes.
in your head.
Prince
Yeah.
Nassim Hamed. It was that.
I was gonna go. I was gonna go Prince and my man from Brooklyn, Kevin Kelly. The first time I watched him fight.
Yo, I remember that was a amazing fight.
That was his first major fight that was national. That was televised. It was him and Kevin Kelly out
And
of
they
Brooklyn.
and they both got knocked down. They both had knockdowns in that fight. And I think it was a 6 round
Yeah.
knockout where Hamed ended up winning, right? 6th or 7th round.
Yeah, Prince. I mean, Prince. At the end of the day, he can hit. He just can't take a shot, and that's just it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
He couldn't
my
take a
fight.
shot, and he got shown by
Barrera.
Marco Antonio Barrera in
Yeah,
2001.
Yep. Brian,
that's
what?
what stuck
Barrera
out to
fucked him
me.
up.
Huh? What'd you say?
That's what stuck out to me. That fight
That
with
fight. I had a
Barrera.
feeling that you was gonna
Yeah,
say
shut him
that
out.
when you said Prince and I seen Hamed. I had a feeling that you was gonna mention that Barrera fight too, dog. Because we talked about that one. I think me and you we had a conversation about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
What
he
you
got
got,
my man in
bro?
the Nelson and then put my man in the corner and shoved his face in the corner and all that. Yeah.
You know who I thought was going to beat Mayweather in 2007 when he finally fought Arturo Gatti. I thought Arturo Gatti could have beat him because Arturo Gatti can hit, and if you watch his trilogy with Mickey Ward, he could take a shot. So I felt like he was going to be able to absorb the punches from Mayweather and not get knocked out. And I mean, Mayweather, absolutely dominated him
That is
for what, 6 rounds, 5 rounds?
that fight was one of the single worst beatings I've ever seen in all of boxing. Like from the start of the belt all the way to the end, my man got completely eviscerated.
Trash.
Like, yeah, he got his ass whooped.
I
You know,
think Floyd hated his gut,
Yeah.
though.
I love Gotti too, though, man. That was the hard
Floyd
part
hated his
about it.
gut.
I absolutely love
That was the fight I thought Mayweather was going to lose, and it wasn't even remotely
it.
close. So
It wasn't.
I think
Joe,
the
what
fight I
fight you
remember.
got, man?
I think the Mike Tyson versus Holyfield when he bit his ear. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember where
94,
I was.
94,
I was
93.
watching that shit in the crib with my dad, and I had Tyson. He had Holyfield. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You embarrassing me. Like, real talk.
Dog,
For
I
real.
remember I was watching that at my
He
aunt's
found
house.
like a gangster way to quit.
I was sitting on the floor, and my cousin was like, "Yo, did he just bite him?" And I'm like, "Nah," because I couldn't even
Now he
fathom
didn't.
what happened.
That's how the first one. That's how the first one looked. Like, nah, he
Who,
ain't bite him.
Yeah,
who was the referee? Was it Mills Lane?
Mills Lane.
Was Mills Lane? Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, and then the second one, you could see him bite, and my cousin was like, "Yo, he just bit him," and I think Tyson spit out part of the ear, like on the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yo, I remember that fight like it just happened. But my fight is Felix Trinidad versus Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Because it was supposed to happen 9/11, and then they pushed it back. And the reason why I remember that is because like the whole buildup from when Bernard Hopkins went over to Puerto Rico, he threw the Puerto Rican flag down. You know what I'm saying? And then
He was
Tito
doing a
comes
lot.
down the aisle with the fire department hat on, and then Bernard Hopkins threw like 12 rounds, just completely put on a show, dog. He showed down how to break down somebody. Because up until that point, dog,
I
Tito
gave it
was
to. He was old though.
unstoppable.
He wasn't the same. No, he wasn't the
Mm-mm.
same. I'm gonna tell you
Dog.
this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Nobody. I don't even think in the history of boxing could have beat Felix Trinidad at 147. I don't care what
Man,
you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Filthy.
At
Filthy.
That's
147,
an
he
argument.
couldn't be beat. What?
that's a legit.
That's a good. That's a legit
Nobody
argument.
beat him at 147
Yeah.
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
Even Floyd, forever and forever. Like, because if
'Cause-
Floyd would have hurt him, dropped him, or did anything spectacular, Felix Trinidad would have been on his ass.
Mhm.
Facts.
And
Facts.
and
Anybody that
Trinidad,
ever dropped Felix Trinidad, anybody that ever dropped
Yep.
Trinidad got dropped immediately.
yep. Remember that Vargas fight? He dropped Vargas
Spectacular.
early, I think twice, and
Spectacular.
then Vargas dropped him in the 6th, and then the 12th round, Tito came back and knocked him out.
He fought a better version of Oscar De La Hoya than Floyd did too, and did better.
Yes, he did. Dog, Tito is one of those names.
He was losing.
Yeah.
Couldn't be
Yep.
beat at
In my
147.
generation, Tito was one of those fighters that when he was fighting, it was a show.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he bought a whole country with him. You know what I'm saying? Like Tito was amazing, dog. Like
I give it to him. He was kind of humble. Like, I don't even think he understood how good he was. Like,
yeah.
it didn't never seem like it. He didn't never impose how great he was till like he got hurt or something. Or was in a good fight. Like you couldn't. Like I seen him dig down and beat people up. I didn't have to see that shit too much with Floyd. He was coasting. When I say he was good at 147, Floyd coasted at 147. I seen Tito have to go out and get this shit like and win him. And shit like even with the Oscar De La Hoya, with the Fernando Vargas fight, Fernando was a kid, and I seen like even that loss by Vargas, I seen him grow up right there.
Yep.
He wasn't ready to
Absolutely.
fight Trinidad. Even in that loss, like I seen him grow up after the first knockdown.
Absolutely. He had no business fighting Trinidad that early,
I seen him
but
grow
my
up right
man,
in that fight. Yeah. After
definitely.
that first knockdown, I seen him get sturdy, and then he was
Mhm.
dizzy. He was dizzy for a lot of rounds after that, and then he started fighting back. I think he got a drop later. And then he was going back and forth. But Trinidad was like unstoppable at 147. I'm gonna say that.
I think like the best fight that I ever saw growing up, I think it had to be Gotti and Ward.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like
My son
I don't remember which one. I think like all of them. They were just like the
Yeah.
best fight that I ever seen.
first one.
Absolutely.
My son
Yeah,
said he was
just
trash.
incredible. Huh?
But
That's legitimate. Like that's possibly the best trilogy in all of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make
Morales and Barrera was good too.
Which one?
Was it Morales and Barrera? Or was it
Yes.
Morales and
Yeah, Morales and Barrera, their trilogy.
that's a good
Yes, definitely. Bo Holyfield is up there too. You know what I'm saying? So like those three, you can make an argument. Ali Frazier.
Holyfield and who?
Riddick Bowe.
Oh, okay.
Riddick Bowe, and then Ali Frazier. So you can make an argument like those 4 trilogies right there are the best in
But the
boxing
best
history.
fight in boxing is the Gotti Ward. That's just like the best. That's the best.
That,
Yeah.
that's one of those fights that if you're showing somebody boxing for the first time,
Boxing, that's what you got to show.
that's the fight you
Absolutely.
gonna put on for them. You know what I'm
You gotta
saying?
show
It's
them.
like, yeah,
You
this
gotta
is what
show
I
that
need
one.
you to watch, and they'll
Yeah.
This is
immediately.
the type of grit
Then
it
you gotta
takes.
break it down. Then you gotta ease them into it. Like all fights don't go like that. You gotta block shit like that. But that fight right there, definitely, because that's fireworks from the beginning to the end.
What fight do you feel like had the most on the line?
That Manny Pacquiao Floyd.
I'll tell you mine. It was Floyd. 2 fights: Floyd versus Canelo, and then Floyd versus the first one just off a build up, but then Floyd versus Maidana. Maidana was a tough fight, man.
The second one, maybe.
The second one, you saw him when he stunned him right before he went back to the corner.
Where he hit him with, where he ducked his head and hit with that looping right hand. Maidana
Yeah, knocked his tooth out. Yeah.
Yeah. Most to lose. That's actually a good question, man.
Floyd got them all, man. He's the best fighter we've seen, I think.
Yeah. In this generation, the generation that we've been alive, and by the looks of it looks like we're around the same age group. I would say Floyd Mayweather, as far as in this generation, since we've been, is the best.
He's the greatest fighter of our generation. Yeah.
I think like with my son boxing, I just really got like more of a respect for the sport, and like at first you would think like boxing is a tough man sport, then you'll realize it's a smart man sport. Like the smarter fighter gonna win every time.
Yeah.
A tough fighter, you're gonna get made tough about a smart fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even got to be rough or nothing. You don't have to be rougher than somebody. You don't have to be tougher. All you got to be is smarter. Set the traps, do what you got to do, and fight clean. When you watching fights as a fan, that's not what you want to see. You want to see the dumb fighters.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
a pugilistic type of view,
but
because
when you are a boxer, you got to understand it's like being an artist. You want to see that painting go on the wall flawlessly.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes when you are an actual boxer, not just a fan of boxing. Like when you are a fan of boxing, everybody say Floyd is the best. When you are a boxer, everybody gonna say Floyd is the best because he's done the most, took the less damage, and earned the most. Like on every aspect, his punch land percentage is the highest. His punch miss percentage is the highest. He made the most money than y'all. So like, for real,
all of us.
he sells more tickets.
Yeah.
He sells more pay-per-views. Like so, like the smarter fighter gonna win, and that's just if you gonna be a fan of the sport, fuck the knockouts, because even the smarter fighter is gonna get the knockouts. Because like I said, I don't think you always go out there to get knockouts. I don't think Gene go out there to get knockouts. He boxes knockouts. I think
How much of that? But how much of that weighs on the fact that he didn't lose a fight?
Who, Floyd?
Yeah.
I think he started that not lose the fight shit. I think he could have lost. I don't think it was no pressure on him to not lose a fight. He came from the era of where fighters could lose fights.
But he never lost a fight.
So what? He has lost because we seen him lose in the Olympics and he cried.
Yeah. And he lost the first Castillo fight. He lost the first Castillo fight. I mean,
he lost that fight the same way he lost the fight against Maidana the first time.
That Castillo, that's both of those.
You said Maidana
were tough, man.
The first time, did even make him rematch Maidana? Remember, he don't rematch people until somebody say that he beat him, and it's actually a legit. The same way y'all saying he lost to Castillo the first time, it's the same way he lost to Maidana the first time.
You feel like he lost to Maidana?
No, I feel like Maidana beat him up, but I feel like he won.
Yeah.
And I feel like Castillo beat him up, but I feel like he won.
I got you.
You can go out there and lose a round and get beat up. He do that a lot.
But because I mean, if you think about it, Floyd ain't got a lot of people that he rematched. If you think about it,
he only rematched the people that we say beat him.
Yeah, I can't really think of very many people that Floyd rematched.
Castillo and Maidana.
People that gave him tough fights. Yep.
I
Dog,
think Maidana won the first 5 rounds, and then Floyd wins the next 7.
Cotto gave him a good fight too. For a
Cotto beat him
little
up
Yeah.
while
too.
too.
Cotto beat him up too.
Bloodied his
See,
nose up.
in the street world, those is all 3 fights he lost. But
Mm-hmm.
when they keep it score, Olympic style or professional style scoring, the clean effective punches win. So you hitting me on my arm, them glancing shots. Floyd do clean punching. Every time
Yep.
he throw, he pretty much land. You wasting shots. They don't like that. He know how
Floyd
to
be
win
hitting
the
them
boxing.
head jarring shots too to make your head snap back and had
Those are
the crowd go.
scoring shots.
Ooh.
Scorers. Those are scorers.
Yep.
Who do you think's the most exciting fighter right now?
I'm gonna let
Terence Crawford.
Every fight out, you're just looking forward to it.
Terence Crawford.
And you can't say Canelo.
Can't say Canelo.
Tank.
Most
You
exciting.
can't say Canelo. Most exciting fighter.
I think Terence Crawford.
Okay.
Tank Davis.
Tank.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Devontae Davis. Only because I mean, like, if we're gonna look at the exciting aspect of things, and we're gonna be real about ourselves, people like knockouts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Look
saying?
at the percentage.
Right. And don't get me wrong, what Joe said is perfect. Like, when you're a boxer fan, you like to see that painting. You like to see a great boxer box for 12 rounds and put on a show and hit and not get hit. But when we're talking about the most exciting, then you got to incorporate knockouts. Like, who's doing knockouts? Who's doing it, at a high level, and who's putting people in highlight reels. And the name that you got to have at the top is Tank Davis. You know what I mean?
He's got 1-punch knockout power every fight.
Right. He knocked out Barrios, and Barrios just fought Keith Thurman at 147, and Keith Thurman couldn't knock him out.
Yeah.
But you think Tank Davis is better than Terence Crawford? More exciting?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Terence Crawford, you going to put on the show, man.
Because
then
of
you
the
going to knock him out.
Only because of the knockouts. But the reason why I like Terence Crawford is because I like to see fighters make in-fight adjustments. And I think that's what Terence Crawford does so well. Like, the first couple rounds, he may try something that doesn't work, and then you see him make the adjustments. And then later on in the fight, he may, get the stoppage or the fight may change. But Crawford is good at that, man.
I picked Tank because really, truly, honestly, they both are equally exciting. But Tank knockouts just look better.
Yeah.
That's it.
So if we talk about knockouts,
his knockouts look better.
If we talk about knockouts, then what about who's more exciting, Tank or Deontay Wilder?
Oh.
Those Deontay Wilder fights are exciting, man. That was the most exciting fights I've watched in a long time.
You know what? You know what I gotta give. You know what I gotta give a little.
He's tough. I give him credit.
Wilder, he has made his career work without any, a lot of skills as far as boxing wise. He's been able to become a world champion, which you got to give him respect for, just on having a dangerous right hand. That people know is dangerous, and they still can't get out of the way of it unless you're Tyson. And he's been able to make it work. So I got to give him that kind of respect. And if we're talking about heavyweights, you got to look at him as one of the hardest punching heavyweights of all time. Just in that hard punching realm, you got to put him up there. My man, every single person that he's got in the ring outside of Fury, he's knocked out.
Yep.
So you got to put him in that realm.
Yeah. He's a wild man, though.
He's not Fury.
Yeah, he definitely is a wild man.
I think you guys are sleeping on my.
Fury's the only.
I think you guys are sleeping on my boy.
Fury gets up.
I think you're sleeping on my boy Julio Cesar Martinez. I think he's the most exciting fighter.
Nah, see, that's a sleeper pick right there. That's one that's not as obvious, but it's a good pick though. Yeah, it's definitely a good pick. He's how old is he?
You talked about making adjustments during fights. You talked about switching it up. Nobody switches up their footwork. I mean, other than maybe you want to talk about. I mean, Lomachenko by far has the greatest footwork of this generation. In my opinion, nobody has footwork like Lomachenko. But you want to watch switching up, make adjustments during fight. I think you have to look at Julio Cesar Martinez.
He's up there.
He'll fight the first 30 seconds righty, then he'll switch southpaw, then he'll just keep going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick, and
I think he's exciting. I think that's exciting.
He's young too, isn't he?
I need to watch him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I had to make sure, but yeah, that's definitely a good pick.
23.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, Golden Boy.
I think so. Yeah,
He
he's
with
a
Eddie
golden boy.
Reynoso, right?
Yep.
mm,
And Canelo and them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan just left, but my guys, man, y'all done.
Ryan doesn't box anymore, though.
Well, no, he switched trainers. He's with Joe Goosen.
No, he's an Instagram boxer. He don't
Oh yeah,
count.
Ryan Garcia. Nah,
See,
that man.
and you know what? That's why when somebody brought up his name, I was like, "Yo, don't even bring his name up,
That was
man."
me.
He
He doesn't count. He ain't got
nah,
no titles.
he don't count.
Man, ain't fight nobody.
But yo, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all done made this show right. We done reached the hour mark already, man. Where would I be?
Man, I was late. My bad, bro.
No, I appreciate y'all, man. They held it down for me. Joe chimed in. He chimed in. Hey, we made it work, man. So I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Like, for real, dog. Like, there would be no show.
Yo, look at my hoodie.
Chime in.
Look at my hoodie.
Hey,
Boxing stick. That's the original.
my
That's
man.
the original logo.
I'm getting some new hoodies and all that stuff made. So the people that got hoodies from me before, I'm gonna make sure y'all get one with the new logo. Since y'all done already shown love, I'm gonna make sure y'all get the new one. So
I was at the gym with this one today. They asked me where I got this from.
hey, let them know, man. Let them know. But yeah, I gotta come check your son out too, man, because you invited me to a sparring session. I didn't forget.
I'm actually taking them to a different gym tomorrow. We do have the day off, but we were supposed to go to a different gym to spar. They said they wasn't sparring today, so we're taking them tomorrow. We gonna spar tomorrow. Some other kid that's good. He's 7'2", so we gonna spar him tomorrow.
I might need you to send me another, because the reel that you sent me, I tried to save it. It wouldn't let me save it. So that's why I didn't put it on the wall. But send me something else, and I'm gonna make sure I get little man up there.
Okay, I got you.
Anything else y'all want to say where people can find y'all? Anything that y'all want to promote or anything like that before we end this night? Y'all can head back to y'all families.
Yeah, you can reach me at blockchaingames.world on Instagram. We're a metaverse company developing the game Blockchain Gang. You can follow our podcast. That's on Spotify. It's called Crypto Convos. And that's where you can reach us. And express transportation, medical transport, and 757.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Appreciate you, my man. Anything else? Anybody else?
Enjoy the fight Saturday, Josh Taylor. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, and you know we're gonna be back on that following Thursday. We're gonna talk about the fight, so we're gonna talk about what's next up. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Definitely, and next Thursday, hopefully, I'll be able to see y'all again. We can do the same thing.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you for the platform.
Hey,
all right, y'all.
Appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all next week.
Good night.
All right, fellas.
All right.